It's been too long since I made a video on this channel, and that's simply down to the fact that I've been really busy working on the Alpha Gaming videos and trying to make them look as good as they possibly can be. As well as, you know, enacting my plan of trying to take over the Alpha Gaming channel, because of course, you guys all know about that evil plan. But while I haven't been making as many videos, I still have been streaming and taking questions from you guys about design, video editing, animations, and so on. So I thought I'd jump in and make another video answering some of those questions that you guys have in my Twitch chat, starting with my webcam frame that I use on my stream. For those of you that haven't been to my stream, number one, why haven't you? And number two, I have a really simple, clean, animated gradient as my webcam frame. It's super simple and really easy to make, so I thought I'd jump in and show you guys how you can make it for yourself. But to make the video as accessible as possible to everyone watching, we're going to be doing two things. Firstly, I'm going to show you guys how you can animate and design it inside of Apple Motion, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing inside of Adobe After Effects. I want you guys to have options and to see and know the different kinds of processes that go into making these kinds of things with different kinds of software. So let's jump right in and show you guys how I made my animated webcam frame. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Sam. If you guys are new to the channel and you don't know yet, I do stream on Twitch. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, UK time. The link to my channel is in the description down below. Feel free to drop me a follow, ask any questions about design, motion graphics, video editing. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Also, if you find the video helpful, engaging, or informative, or entertaining in any way, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Cool. Now, moving on to our first of two things, we're going to be designing the animated webcam inside of Apple Motion first and show you guys what you need to do in order to get the same kind of effect that I have for my webcam frame. So we're going to start off by making a brand new project inside of Apple Motion. We're going to make it 1920 by 1080p with a frame rate of 60 frames per second with a duration of 10 seconds. So we're going to click open on that. The next thing we're going to do to start us off with is we're going to make a circle inside of Apple Motion. So we're going to go down to the toolbar here, right down to the rectangle tool, click and hold the little drop down arrow, and you will see a circle shape there appear. Let go of it and you can now have the circle shape selected. So now what you need to do, hold down the Shift, Option and Command keys, click and drag, and your circle will be completely uniform and scale from the center. Make it as big as you can, really. We'll leave it as that for now and make sure it's centered using the guides in the middle. If your guides aren't on, by the way, go to View and then go to Snap. And what that will do is that will basically let you snap to the middle of the canvas here. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the shape properties in the inspector. We're going to go into the style and the fill and change it from a color to a gradient. Once you've done that, you can stylize the gradient however you wish. So we're going to make this a nice red and blue looking gradient like I have on my stream. There we go. It's a bit too close together right now, so what we're going to do is going to right click on the circle inside the canvas and choose Edit Gradient. And once we do that, we can actually adjust the position of these two colors and drag them, make them a little bit more dispersed. The next step is actually animating the rotation to animate over time. So what we're going to do is going to select the circle, go to our properties, and then click the drop down arrow on rotation and add a keyframe to the Z rotation. And make sure your playhead is at the beginning of the timeline. Go all the way to the end, and then we'll make it 360. We can do a full 360 rotation. As you watch now, the circle will rotate all the way around across the full 10 seconds. And if we play that back, you see it is a nice rotation going all the way around. In fact, what we might do and make it negative 360. What that will do is it will animate in the opposite direction. So instead of going counterclockwise, it will go clockwise, if that makes sense. So I like that, we're going to stick with that. The next step is now actually adding the webcam frame, and you can do this by using Affinity Designer and designing a nice looking webcam frame, but for me, I like to just use a rectangle, keep it quite simple, and we can do that straight inside of Apple Motion. So make sure your playhead is at the beginning of the timeline, click and drag, and make a new rectangle shape, like so. We're going to make sure this is centered in the middle, and then what we're going to do is go to the shape options, go down to our fill, and make sure we untick fill and tick outline. We're going to actually increase the width a little bit, and we're going to change the joint to a square and make these corners here nice and sharp. From there, the next step is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is we're going to go select the circle, go down to Object and select Add Image Mask. And then we're going to select the rectangle, and inside of the drop well you see here, we're going to drag and drop and let go. And as you can see, we've now made an image mask of the rectangle with the gradient inside of it. What the image mask is basically doing is it's using the alpha channel to make a stencil cutout and get rid of what we don't want and only keep what we want inside of the webcam frame. If I switch to the alpha channel, you will see that only the webcam frame or the rectangle outline is preserved, and then we can adjust this later on by adjusting the width, making it a little bit thinner or making it thicker. That really is down to you and your personal preference at this point, but that is pretty much it for this webcam. All we need to do now is export it as a transparent video file and then add it to our OBS. And the easiest way of doing that is going up to the right hand corner here and selecting Share, Export Movie. And then under Export, make sure you select Apple ProRes 4444. Once you select that, go to Render and make sure that Color plus Alpha is ticked and not just Color, not just Alpha. You need Color plus Alpha. Once you've done that, just press Next, find a place to save it, and there you go. You've just made your first animated gradient overlay for your webcam. Congratulations. Good stuff. Right, next thing we're going to do is move over to Adobe After Effects and show you guys how you can make exactly the same thing using that software. So now we're inside of Adobe After Effects and we're making a brand new composition. Once again, exactly the same thing as motion. We're going to make it 1920 by 1080p HD, 60 frames per second with a 10-second duration. We're going to click OK. So we're going to make exactly the same thing as we did in motion. We're going to make a circle shape, but we're going to do things a little bit differently. Instead of making a shape using the shape tool, we're going to actually use a solid and use a mask instead. Simply because if you're using shapes, things won't animate correctly when you're using gradients. So you're better off using solids and then masking them to get the right effects that you're going for. So we're going to go to Layer, New Solid, and make our new solid. We're going to call this one Circle. It's an original name, I know. We're then going to click OK and go over to our masking options and select the circle mask. Start making your circle shape from the middle of the solid. I'm going to make it that big for now. Once you've got your circle all done, I'm going to go to our Effects and Presets panel here. I'm going to search up Gradient Ramp. Like so. We're going to click and drag that onto our solid. We're then going to change the colors like we did inside of motion. We're then going to make this red and blue. We're just going to zoom out just a little bit and find where our gradient points are and just adjust them a little bit. So the next step is actually animating this over time, and the way we're going to do that is by keyframing the rotation over the full 10 seconds. And the easiest way of doing that is by selecting the layer, pressing R on the keyboard, and clicking this little stopwatch here to add a keyframe. Go all the way to the end, and then on the first 0 on the rotation, you want to select that and then press 1. And what that will do is that will make a full rotation of 360 degrees across the full 10 seconds. The next thing we're going to do is actually add our webcam frame. Once again, you can design something outside of After Effects like in Adobe Photoshop or in Affinity Design or whatever, and then bring that into Adobe After Effects and use that as your mask. We're going to keep with a rectangle for now like we did inside of Apple Motion and just use that as our design. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the rectangle tool, and then we're going to click and drag from the middle out, and then we're going to add a stroke to the rectangle like so. Then once you've done that, all you need to do is select the layer, go over to Mode, and make sure it's set to Stencil Alpha, like so. And now if we enable transparency, you can see that our webcam frame actually cuts out the gradient like so. And there we go, guys. You've just made your animated webcam frame inside of Adobe After Effects. You're ready now to send this to your render queue and export it to use on your stream. Just a quick note, by the way, when you're using Adobe After Effects to make your animated webcam frame, you need to export in a format that will allow you to have transparent videos. So for example, Apple ProRes 4444 will allow you to do this. Also, AVI as well as the animation codecs will allow you to do that. All you need to make sure is you select those before you export, and then under the video options, under the output module, if you click on output module settings, go to video output, make sure channels that RGB plus alpha is selected, click OK. It will then export with a transparent background ready for you to use inside of your OBS for your streams. And that is how you make my animated webcam frame in both Apple Motion and Adobe After Effects. I really hope you guys found this video helpful, but I am aware that not everybody has access to these programs and this software, so I'm going to be releasing these animated webcam frames for you guys for free in my Discord, link down below. I'm going to be releasing two different takes on the webcam frame. One is the two-tone color gradient one that I use on my stream, and I'm also releasing a nice rainbow gradient if you want to have just a selection of colors available to you. And if you guys want to tweak the colors and the style to match your brand just a little bit more, then here's how you do it. Add the media file to your scenes inside of OBS, right click and go to filters and add a new color correction filter. Under hue, click and move the slider along to change the colors of the gradient. And there you go, you now have a colored gradient overlay that matches your brand for your stream. And that is everything, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, just a reminder, I do stream on Twitch. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The link to my Twitch is in the description down below. If you have any questions about the things I mentioned in this video, come by, drop me a follow, and feel free to ask anything you might have about design, video editing, animation, and so on. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Also have an amazing community Discord, guys, full of designers, streamers, and content creators. We just smashed 500 members, so if you want to join that Discord, be a part of an awesome family, the link is in the description down below. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all, and until next time, take care. So you know what, we're gonna go back. Hell yeah, Sammy's the real doc. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Whoa! Where did he come from? Did he just spawn in front of me?